The fluorescent lights hummed quietly overhead as shoppers wandered through the aisles of Greenridge Market on a calm Thursday afternoon. In aisle 7, nestled between the spices and canned vegetables, a woman in her mid-50s examined the label on a small jar of paprika. Her jeans were faded, her slate blue t-shirt soft from years of use, and a lightweight beige cardigan hung loosely from her shoulders. Her cart held just the basics: bread, milk, tuna, nothing extravagant, nothing unnecessary. She looked at peace, content to take her time. That is, until a sharp voice cut through the quiet. "Hailed lady. Stand still." The woman startled, turning to see where the command had come from. Her deep brown eyes met those of a younger woman, all blonde and uniformed. Officer Caitlin Mercer stood with one hand on her hip, the other resting near the holster strapped tightly to her belt. Her name tag gleamed under the store lights. She wasn't in the middle of a patrol. Her cart nearby held a frozen dinner and a 6-pack of soda, but her expression said she considered herself on duty no matter the time or place. "You mean me?" the older woman asked, surprised but calm. "Who else?" Mercer snapped, stepping closer, her gaze dragging over the woman's outfit with visible disdain. "What are you doing here? Lurking around, looking at everything like you're about to steal it? People like you always try something in places like this." The woman's eyebrows furrowed, a blush of anger warming her cheeks. But she remained composed. "I'm shopping," she said evenly. "Just like everyone else." "Officer, please watch your language and show some respect." The quiet dignity in her voice lit a fire behind Mercer's eyes. How dare this woman, this nobody, she thought, speak to her that way? She wasn't just angry now. She was offended. And offended was dangerous. "Respect," Mercer hissed. "You think you can lecture me? You don't get to tell a police officer what to do." And then she did something unthinkable. With a swift motion, she drew her Glock 19 from its holster. The cold, unmistakable click of the slide echoed through the aisle like a gunshot. Shoppers screamed and scattered. Someone dropped a jar that shattered on the linoleum, splashing red sauce like blood across the floor. "Hands up!" Against the shelf. "Now!" Mercer barked, pointing the gun directly at the woman's chest. The woman stood frozen, not with fear, but with a calm so still it shook those watching. Her eyes met Mercer's, unwavering, disappointed. Slowly, deliberately, she raised her hands, palms open. But she didn't lean against the shelf. She stood tall and steady, her expression unreadable, her eyes assessing the young officer in front of her not as a victim, but as someone calculating the safest way out of a dangerous situation. The air in aisle 7 thickened. Phones emerged from trembling hands, recording. A child whimpered nearby. And still, the woman stood still. Just minutes earlier, Officer Mercer had been annoyed at the world. Her shift had ended, she'd skipped lunch, and the line at the checkout had been too long. Raised in a small suburban town where people who didn't look like her were the exception, not the rule, Mercer had let the worst parts of her upbringing fester into something ugly. She saw suspicion in every shadow that didn't match her mold. And now, faced with a woman who challenged her biases with nothing but calm defiance, Mercer felt her authority slipping. She couldn't allow that. "Do you have ID?" she snapped. The woman, whose name was Lillian Grant, nodded slowly. "I'm just here to buy a few things. I have money. I haven't done anything wrong." Mercer scoffed. "Sure. People like you always say that. You from the projects. That where you're sneaking back to after you robbed this place?" Lillian's eyes hardened. "Officer," she said clearly, "you are profiling me based solely on my appearance. You are violating your duty. This is harassment. You need to stop." The words were calm, but their impact was explosive. Mercer's face turned crimson. "You dare accuse me?" she shouted. "You think I'd waste my time on someone like you if I didn't have reason to? What, are you hiding a weapon? You want to go for mine?" She waved the gun again. "Hands up now." The chaos spiraled. Shoppers ducked behind shelves. The store manager, a quiet man named Daniel Reyes, stepped forward with his hands raised. "Officer, please," he said. "Let's calm down. There are children here. You need to back off," Mercer shouted, swinging the muzzle of her Glock toward him. "This is official police business." Lillian never moved. Her arms still raised, her breathing steady. She waited, calculated. Her eyes never left Mercer's. She knew that panic and ignorance had mixed into something volatile in the young officer. But she also knew that sometimes power needed to be answered not with resistance but with truth. Officer Mercer, she said slowly, reading the nameplate. What's your badge number? Mercer blinked, momentarily thrown. What? Your badge number? I'm asking because I intend to report this. What you're doing right now is not only dangerous, it's unlawful. You are threatening the life of a civilian with no cause. And I intend to speak to Sheriff Raymond Hall about it personally. Mercer's eyes narrowed. You're bluffing. I'm not, Lillian said. Raymond and I go back decades. I have his personal number. I'm going to call him now. The words landed like a stone in Mercer's stomach. Her hand trembled slightly. You think I'm afraid of that? She asked, voice cracking. Go ahead. My phone is in my left pocket, Lillian said. I'm going to take it out now. Slowly. Fine, Mercer said, nodding tightly. No sudden moves. Lillian moved with care, retrieving a plain flip phone, old, reliable. She opened it, scrolled to the name, Raymond H., and pressed call. It rang twice before a voice answered. Sheriff Hall. Raymond, it's Lillian. I need you at Greenridge Market, aisle 7. An officer has drawn a weapon on me. A pause. Then, what? I'll be there in 5. Lillian closed the phone and looked at Mercer. He's on his way. Mercer's face went white. Lillian? Lillian Grant? Yes. Colonel Lillian Grant? Yes. The realization hit Mercer like a physical blow. Colonel Lillian Grant, retired United States Army Bronze Star recipient, city veteran, respected public figure. The woman Mercer had just humiliated, threatened, and nearly shot. "You didn't know," Mercer whispered, lowering her gun with shaking hands. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Please don't tell him. Please don't tell the sheriff. Lillian didn't speak. Her expression was unreadable. Not anger, not triumph, just deep, tired disappointment. The store fell into stunned silence as sirens wailed outside. Sheriff Raymond Hall barreled in moments later, in jeans and a hoodie, eyes blazing. He saw Lillian standing tall. Then he saw Mercer. What the hell happened here? He demanded. The videos, the bystanders, the terrified manager all told the same story. Mercer, the sheriff said coldly. Hand over your badge and weapon. Right now. But sir. Now. Mercer, trembling, obeyed. You're suspended. Indefinitely, Hall said. Then, to his officers, take her to IA. She doesn't speak to anyone until she's processed. As Mercer was led out of the store, the crowd parted silently. Her eyes were red. Her career ruined. Her pride shattered. That night, the sheriff launched a full investigation. Internal affairs worked quickly. The footage was clear. The testimonies aligned. Mercer had acted out of prejudice, not procedure. Lillian gave her statement with military precision. She never exaggerated, never dramatized. She didn't need to. The truth was more than enough. The case made headlines. A decorated Army colonel nearly gunned down in a supermarket for looking suspicious. The outrage was immediate. Public pressure mounted. Within days, Mercer was fired. A month later, she was indicted. The charges: assault with a deadly weapon, reckless endangerment, misconduct in public service. At trial, Lillian took the stand. She wore a plain dress, not her uniform. She didn't want the jury to be swayed by medals. Just the truth. The jury didn't take long. Guilty on all counts. The judge, solemn, sentenced Mercer to 2 years in prison. Not the harshest sentence possible, but a message. Abuse of power, racism, and reckless violence would not be tolerated. In the aftermath, Sheriff Hall launched sweeping reforms: bias training, stricter hiring standards, mandatory body cam review. He personally apologized to Lillian. She accepted without fanfare. Lillian never sought the spotlight. She declined interviews, ignored speaking invitations. She just wanted to live her life in peace. But around town, her story spread. Quietly, powerfully. To the people of Greenridge, she became more than a retired colonel. She became the woman who stood her ground with grace, even with a gun in her face. A symbol not of vengeance but of dignity.